Okay, in our last screencast, you learned how to do some editing with text. This one's going to show you how to bring in a raster image and turn it into a vector image so that you can edit it. So hopefully you remember the difference between a raster and a vector. In order to bring in a raster, you have to have it saved already from online. So you can save it from Google Images, Creative Commons. You should make sure that it's legal for you to use it, although you will be making changes to it. And it's also good to find something fairly simple. Remember, you're cutting this out of vinyl if it's your sticker. And if you're doing it for the laser cutter and etching it, you still want it to be fairly simple. Black and white designs, silhouettes, icons really work the best. So once you have it already saved into your OneDrive, you're going to go to File and Place, which is a little bit different than some of the programs that you might have used before. So you're looking for Place, and then it's going to let you choose what you want to use. You might have to navigate to your OneDrive and to the correct folder where you have it saved. I'm going to use this one of a mouse and click Place. And I can click anywhere, and you can see it's larger than I want. The nice thing on Illustrator is it's so easy to make it the exact size that you want it to be. So if you want to lock dimensions, click this little lock. You need to be in Properties here. Click these to lock the dimensions. I'm going to make mine 4 inches. You can see that made it smaller. And I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller still. I'll try 3.5. So right now this is a raster, so you'll notice it doesn't have a fill and a stroke. If I try to change the color on it, nothing happens. It's not really allowing me to edit it besides changing the size of it. So in order to make it a vector where it has a line and fill, I'm going to go to Image Trace, and I found when working with these simple types of images, often black and white logo works well. You have different options on here that you can play around with, but you'll see that if you find something simple with a lot of contrast, it's going to be much, much easier. So when I click black and white logo, you can see now it kind of had fuzzy lines. Those are sharpened on here, but it still just looks like it's one piece, and it's not really letting me edit it. So the next step is to click on Expand, which is also under Properties now that I've traced it. When I click on Expand, I can see it now has the lines around it. However, it still all selects at once. So the final step is to go to Object and Ungroup. Depending on the object, sometimes you even may need to ungroup it more than once. It could still have pieces that are together. This one was pretty simple and it just worked like that. Now I'm able to change the fill and the stroke on each different part of it. So I could make it multiple colors if I wanted to. And if you had an image that you wanted to separate or get rid of part of it, you want to be careful. I see this still has a path that it's showing here. And I can just get rid of that, and I don't even need that on here anymore. But it allows a lot more editing on here. So you can add interest to it or make changes the way you need, change the colors. And you could, what I end up doing for my final one is putting my text on here. So if you are getting a much more complex image, that process will seem a lot more difficult. But you can play around with it, and if it doesn't seem to be working well for you, you may want to find a different image to work with.